Alrighty, Lucas with that proud declaration going first. The big sigh-in and before they look at their opening hands.
Thank you.
Yeah, also.
Best of luck to both players. Here we go.
Legends are about to be written about this duel.
Main phase.
Yep.
Following the White Dragon, I think, sending post.
We did see some super polys in Lucas's deck in his match against Dominic, and they are going to be more than live in this mirror match.
Certainly, but let's start with Fallen the White Dragon. We're going to send, looks like, Albion the Branded Dragon to the graveyard in order to special summon Fallen of the White Dragon, then use its effect to bring out Incredible Ecclesia, perhaps? Could be any Ecclesia monster.
Yep, this is so far pretty standard stuff here for the branded deck, just getting up that resource engine started before we start fusioning off and getting mega amounts of value.
So now we're going to Synchro Summon here. Haven't seen this same start, at least in the last game we saw Lucas Sacco, so we're bringing out Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon. Banishes itself for its effect. And we're going to get out another card here. It'll be Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous.
Yep, it's going to be really important here for Lucas to establish as many resources as possible because Jesse will have access to the Dracotail cards that can stymie a lot of his big pushes, like Branded Fusion, as well as other various fusion monsters he wants to keep in his graveyard.
So now we have the branded opening. You got to be careful, but he is discarding the super polymerization. Jesse nodding to himself, wondering, I wonder if there's another super polymerization in the hand. Why else would you discard the first one?
Because there's definitely better cards you could have discarded to get further value. So Jesse's probably making that assumption of, okay, what cards should I be playing around? What cards should I be thinking about as I begin my turn? Because something the branded deck has not been known for doing, nor have we seen it do all weekend long, is actually stymie your opponent from playing. You kind of have to play into what they're doing versus try to play around what they're doing.
Now we got a Luber, the Jester of Despia on the field, another branded card going to be added quite soon. It looks like we're jumping right into that. I see the branded fusion being circled around like the shark.
There is an argument, I think, here for Fallen the Virtuous, it looks like. That's also a really useful card, I think.
What was that? Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, a little disturbance there in the foyer. Once the venue gets a little cleared out, it starts to sound like an echo chamber in here. Hopefully the echo will be all the people's applause to drown out that sound.
There we go.
That was the noise there, Jesse. Don't you worry, it was nothing else.
Everything's just fine. Thank you, crowd. We love you too. So it looks like we do need to clearly announce that we're activating our effects there. Just a little note from our head judge there. And we are going to activate, or should we add, a branded card, the Fallen the Virtuous, treated as both that and Dogmatika card.
No response.
So a little UC minor issued for the language there. I understand being startled. Don't worry, it's just a warning. But fair warning, when you're up on the YCS stage, we can hear you, so mind your manners.
Yeah.
And here comes Granguin, the Dust Dragon.
Going to be sending, it looks like the Dogma here to get even more cards in the graveyard for searching for Lucas. Like I said, it's going to be Titaniclad. Like I said, he wants to maximize the amount of value he can generate on this first turn to force Jesse to play through as much as possible. And so that way Lucas still has stuff to continue his turn and play.
Setting a mysterious card, that super polymerization again, it's going to get such value here. Now, one of the things that is kind of, I don't want to say unique to Dracotail, but they like to lean on Secretarion. And Secretarion, of course, being able to prevent your opponent from activating the effects of Spellcaster and Dragon monsters that are special summoned. That is kind of a big chunk of the Fallen of Elbaz family of cards. All those branded cards do happen to be it. There are some Worms, there are some Beast Warriors, but we'll see if that ends up paying off here. We're going to go ahead and set a branded Retribution. Let's see where we go next in the end phase.
Could be considering here what to summon off the Titaniclad. We will be getting Ecclesia the Dark Dragon back as well. So lots of value to be gained here from Lucas.
This is a lot of respect from Lucas. It's a very different field than when we saw him last on the featured match stage.
I mean, it's a very different matchup, you know. He has to prioritize other things. And when it comes to specifically playing into a fellow branded board, we didn't see him play a branded mirror match yet, but I'm sure he's had to fight through some to get here today.
No, absolutely. A certainly popular deck. Everybody loves Elbaz, but each deck looks different, especially Jesse's. We haven't seen anything like that on the featured match stage this weekend, so I'm excited when turn play passes back over to him. But Lucas doing a great job of establishing all these different resources, and now we're going to see the Brandon High Spirit sent to the graveyard.
Wow, I mean, it's honestly impossible to fathom just how much value Lucas has generated so far in this single turn. I'm going to just wager a guess of +6. That sounds pretty accurate to me.
It's a really good end phase. And now, all of a sudden, that extra super polymerization has plenty of cards to discard, but there's also plenty of great effects in hand for next turn. Dracotail, you know, it does a lot of work, but it doesn't necessarily close out the game in one turn.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need some help from the branded cards in order to do that from Jesse's side of the board here. Just getting a clarification here of what card was set off the Albion ability. It was, of course, that Branded Retribution, which could answer Jesse's own powerful spell cards. But unlike the Branded strategy, the Dracotail strategy has a bit more powerful spell cards to utilize.
All right, now it's Jesse's turn. I just saw him draw a Dracotail Urgula. Looks like he's looking at a couple of different cards at his hand there, but see the Master in action.
Stand by phase. Main phase 1.
Sure.
Going straight to the main phase here as Jesse. How best are we going to try to force out the interaction from Lucas and then play over it? That's always what you want to be doing with these powerful fusion strategies right now, but what is the first action going to be here?
Looks like we picked it up. It's going to be normal summoning Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous. Kind of dangerous super polymerization at the ready.
But again, Jesse might not be considering that. He probably might just need a way to fuse off some of the Dracotail names in his hand if he has any.
But in response to the effect, let's go ahead and use Branded Retribution, returning Albion and Titaniclad back to the extra deck that's going to negate and destroy. So goodbye to Blazing Cartesia for now.
It does represent a lot of value for Jesse if that effect got to go off. Plus, he's already had to use his normal summon, so a lot of resources already off the table for Jesse.
Urgula would have helped, but plenty of spell cards in hand. Jesse keeping it close to the chest, so I can't quite see all of them. But you got to slap some of them down the table. I know that looks like a Branded Fusion over on the right.
And we've already baited out the Branded Retribution there, so it will be a safe activation from what I can tell.
Jesse sighs deeply.
But Jesse's got to be assuming that one of those set cards is a super poly, and he's like, do I really want to summon an entire board just to have it get eaten up?
Well, kind of a tricky situation to be in, either or, but even though this is untimed, the pace of play must continue. So at some point, Jesse will have to make a decision here. Thinking ahead into the future, he turns back to his hand. And I think we're just going to activate Branded Fusion.
Hard-drawn Branded Fusion here. If this resolves, it represents a lot that Jesse can do.
Don't know if Lucas was anticipating that. The Forbidden Limitless recently changed this to 1, so Jesse kind of lucky to get it here. A bit of a thinker for Lucas.
I would say the biggest thing to maybe consider is chaining something like Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon to maybe get access to a Fallen of Albaz effect to fuse off with whatever Jesse summons and just demand even more cards from him. But Jesse's going to get so much value off of a resolved Branded Fusion that if we have some way to stop it, we probably should.
With Branded Fusion, you could send a Dracotail Frixel to the graveyard as various materials, perhaps a light spellcaster, depending on what the fusion is. So that's going to help things out. So we are going to let that fusion resolve. So it is time to fusion summon. But what are the materials? We know one's going to be Fallen of Albaz.
Or in Jesse's case, Fallen of the White Dragon, probably.
Fuse
Yep.
Fallen of White Dragon with Dracotail Frixel.
Nope, there you go. There's that Frixel you were talking about.
Hey, you had one fusion material, I had the other. Teamwork makes the dream work, and these two monsters will combine into Albion the Branded Dragon.
The Branded Dragon.
Yep, and this kind of guarantees Jesse another fusion, even if Lucas has another form of interaction here.
Frixel.
Chainlink 3 will be Guiding Quem.
So Guiding Quem as Chainlink 3. Albion was Chainlink 1, Dracotail Frixel was Chainlink 2. Gonna target that Fallen of the White Dragon, put it in defense mode.
This represents even more bodies
Frixel
for
resolve.
Lucas, which will generate even more value for him as the course of the next turn, which will be what ultimately decides this game. I know both these decks have a lot of damage potential, but you're going to need to fight through the resources first if you're going to want to actually close things out.
So we're gonna go ahead and grab the Rahu Dracotail, also now at 1.
Hey, Steven, you want to know what's better than one Branded Fusion?
2.
Two Branded Fusions, just with a different artwork.
Well, it's nice to see Dracotail finding his face there on the Rahu Dracotail, and it is a very powerful card. So Jesse's starting to claw his way back into this duel, one activation at a time. I guessed on the 2, by the way.
Exactly. So here we have the Albion fusing off the Cartesia and the White Dragon to go ahead and get Secretarion Dragon out here.
Yeah.
This will stymie some of those dragon effects that Lucas wants to go for. Very, very heads-up play from Jesse here.
But there is a way to get rid of it. It's super polymerization. Cannot be responded to by card effects, but now we got to choose what to discard. So Incredible Ecclesia going to the graveyard. So the materials are Fallen of the White Dragon. Yeah, we can't respond, so don't worry about it. But Secretarion going to the grave.
And we're eyeing up that beautiful extended art Mirror Jade hitting the board here. That is probably the best interaction Branded has ever had, and it was one of the first ones it ever got to fully utilize.
That's a good catch. Those are the first 2 extended art cards to ever be played in the finals of a YCS. That's history. No one can take that from you.
An extended art card to play an extended art card. Must be nice.
What did this card start off the Super Polymerization?
The discard was
Ecclesia? Okay, thank you.
So we sent the Ecclesia to the graveyard. We do have the Mirror Jade out. Jesse still has, looks like 2 cards in hands.
Yeah,
Oh, no, a few cards. There's 4.
I think I saw a Branded in High Spirits in Jesse's hand, which can still represent a lot of value depending on what monsters he may have in hand.
No response.
And we do have the set Rahu, of course.
So activate the effect of Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon. No response. Now it's time to banish it. Let's see what it is we get from Lucas's deck here.
Oh, it's going to be a copy of Fallen of the Albaz OG to try to get this Albion up the board. Are we just trying to deny Jesse material for fusion summoning?
Well, it does sound like a good idea. So Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous to the graveyard. Materials are Fallen of Albaz, or maybe not. Oh, wow.
Ooh, that is super huge from Jesse. If I'm going to lose my monster anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get a droplet so that way I can answer this Mirror Jade most likely.
That was the only card he sent to the graveyard, so he's only going to be getting 1 monster effect, but he can chain a spell since that wasn't one of the cards sent away.
But it's got to be Mirror Jade you're going to choose at the end of the day with Jesse, right?
That seems like the target, yes. Well, not target, but when it resolves, that would be the card I'd negate.
I'll negate the Mirror Jade.
We're right.
Now, notably, I believe if Mirror Jade is sent to the graveyard, though, the other effect of Mirror Jade will activate, correct?
Believe so. So it's still volatile for sure, but there's plenty of ways to protect yourself.
It's still a scary card.
Yeah.
But we can Arthali on it if we need to.
Might have to. Let's take a look at the graveyard here. A couple of fusions. Spell. But Jesse still has 3 cards, 1 face down. We know that the Rahu has not been activated yet. Is it time?
I mean, it's always better, too, when you're trying to, like, force interaction on your opponent, use the cards they know about and then hang on to the cards they don't know about, because that just leads the room for them to misplay that much more likely.
Duel Academy 101. Let's go ahead and activate Rahu Dracotail now. So it sounds like no response from Lucas.
And if you can hear me and Steven being tense, it's because we're on the edge of our seat. Because every single action so far matters, and I know everyone watching live and at home is feeling the exact same as we are.
My heart is beating a mile a minute.
You do, right?
Yeah,
So we do have a branded opening of the graveyard that's very important because it can protect those fusion monsters, but let's see what Jesse sends away here.
We've eaten through a lot of interaction that Lucas has face-up on board, so all Jesse realistically needs to play around is, I think, Unassumed, Fallen, and the Virtuous that is set on the board.
I normal summoned Cartesia.
So we have used the normal summon on the Cartesia, and we do have what I believe is a Dracotail Urgula in hand. Remember, you do have to, if you're going to fuse what I think you're going to fuse, use a monster from hand. Let's take a look at what we actually use.
Yeah, that's one thing about the Dracotail deck that was always very famous, is that it's always hungry for material. You can fusion summon all day long, but you need to actually have the bodies to do so, and sometimes fusion summoning actually requires your bodies.
All right, well, fusion summon. Materials are Dracotail Pan and Dracotail Urgula.
I mean, those are 2 pretty good ones.
Yeah.
It answers a monster and it answers a spell trap, so...
Let's order our chain links here. It's a big moment.
Chainlink 1 targeting Pan 2, 3. Not targeting.
I'm sorry, so it's Chainlink 1 Arthalion targeting Pan, Chainlink 2.
Pan, Chainlink 3 Urgula.
Just in case you didn't hear that, Dracotail Arthalion will try to retrieve the Dracotail Pan from the graveyard using its effect to return cards to the hand from either the graveyard or the field. Then we'll activate Dracotail Pan, then we'll activate Dracotail Urgula to set Dracotail spell and trap cards, and destroy 1 card apiece. It's non-targeting too, which is huge.
Now, it does need to be an attack position monster, which I believe for Pan, which I believe only is the... Oh no, am I thinking of Horn?
Think you're thinking of Dracotail Horn. Don't worry,
Right.
Pan
They're all
is
fair
on
game.
the card art,
Right,
so I
exactly.
understand. But we're going to go ahead and use the Fallen the Virtuous here to go ahead and perhaps send a card away before that's destroyed. Very smart on Lucas's part. Going to go ahead and send the Dracotail Arthalion to the graveyard here.
I have no response.
No response, so now we'll use Mirror Jade too.
It is negated, but you can still send for cost, which is basically like activating the second part of the effect for Mirror Jade.
It's negated.
Yeah, this will destroy.
It's destroyed.
So that's destroying the Arthalion.
Urgula.
Urgula.
So Urgula's next here.
All sets.
Now we're going to get to a more defensive position, except we haven't used the Dracotail Ketu. I completely forgot. So we still have the ability to add a Dracotail monster from the deck to the hand and then fuse.
Once again, these fusion decks are just showing off all of the long amounts of pushes they can put through, which is why they're really good at going over the top of other mid-range type strategies like the Cool Tune archetype.
And, you know, you usually don't see Dracotail Sting this early, but it's so powerful against the branded strategy because you can remove those cards in the graveyard before you even hit the end phase.
And now we're going to be bringing back the Pan here thanks to our Thalion, which will give us some more material that we can use to fuse off, but we've already used the Pan's effect this turn after it's been fused off, and so Jesse needs to keep that in mind if he wants to keep going for value. And we've already used the Rahu plus the Ketu, which is some of the most powerful cards we can get when trying to play into a board.
Who knew the correct ratios of these cards were 1? Jesse's doing a great job playing the deck as if nothing has happened to it.
Yeah, that was one nice thing about the Dracotail deck was even the most powerful version of the deck still ended on a pretty modest board that just had a lot of follow-up and a lot of potential throughout the course of a single game.
Sometimes the rules change, but it doesn't mean that the duels change, so we're going to go ahead and shuffle the deck real fast. Sort of flagging the possibility that maybe we're not actually going to see the Ketu Dracotail fully resolved, but we are going to put the Urgula at the bottom of the deck, allowing the Frixel to go back to the hand. But we've already normal summoned here, so we can't use the Frixel again, but let's go ahead and use the Brandon High Spirits. It is a light spellcaster. That could be huge.
This is going to be pretty big here, I think, to unlock even more of Jesse's deck for the rest of this turn.
So reveal that light spellcaster.
There you go.
And goodbye, Granguinal. Surprisingly, a spellcaster. I know its art may not lead you to believe that.
I mean, it's literally called the Dust Dragon, but it is in fact a spellcaster.
Stuff happens. You know, Feed Mega Cyber is neither a Feed nor Mega or Cyber. Jokes aside here, we grab Fallen of the White Dragon. And that could open up the combos once again because it could still be special summon, and we'll do that immediately now.
Like I said, he's basically just accessing the other half of his deck because now he's sending his own copy of the Dark Dragon of Ecclesia, which will be able to return a lot of his resources and let him reuse it throughout the course of this game, which I think for both players is going to be a pretty big slog with how much advantage they're going to overall generate.
Well,
because let's not forget that Lucas gets his own Dark Dragon back at the end of this turn.
Let's get this slog moving because Fallen of the White Dragon is going to go ahead and grab an Ecclesia monster. Which of the two will it be? It's going to be Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous. And
Do you have any triggers here?
a couple of different things we could do here, but maybe a trigger. Let's see.
I mean, it's all going to have to come from the hand here, I think, for Lucas, because everything in play has already been used once.
Try these two and Granguinal.
Granguinal flying back to the extra deck.
Let's make sure that that card from his... Was that an extra deck Ecclesia, or was it a return of a Secretarion as well?
Secretarion was the other monster.
Okay, so he just has matching sleeves for his extra deck inside a main deck. Gotcha.
Well, they do make you re-sleeve when you get this far in the tournament. We are going to go ahead and combine.
Yeah, Ketu add 5 mana and then use the effect of Ketu to fuse both off and the Pan.
So those two monsters have not used their effect, and since Secretarion's back on the field, now we're back to the dragons and spellcasters not being able to activate their effects.
And what a beautiful sort of dance that Jesse's playing with this Secretarion Dragon here. Earlier it was stopped, but he just went ahead, put it back into his deck, and summoned it out again, and we still have not used its effect to bring out another dragon and or spellcaster monster. And what monster have we not used yet, Steven? Fruxel, which can give us even more material. That thing that I said Jesse was fighting for, he now has.
So just making sure to take a look at Lubert, the Jester of Despia. Only one effective once per turn, but if you get rid of a fusion monster, it is going to special summon itself back on the field and then negate an opponent's card. Well, a monster at least.
So sorry, one more time. What are these two sets? Switch traps?
We got Flame and Sting, two pretty good ones for this matchup because we do know that Lucas has the ability to get Branded Fusion on the follow-up for the next turn, but Flame naturally checks that. And then, of course, a lot of his powerful effects that he does when he sends Fusion monsters to the graveyard get checked by Sting.
Now, a little tiny bit of information here that Jesse may have given away because he did not resolve the effect of one of those two Dracotail monsters. He only set one card, so he's either communicating that it's in his hand or maybe it's not even in his deck list.
That's fine.
Ooh, but speaking of resolving the effect of Dracotails, we're going to use the Secretarion here to return the Fruxel to bring out the Pan in attack mode. And then we're going to use the effect of Ecclesia here to get access to another Fallen of Albaz here.
Could get out the original. And those are some juicy targets on the field, considering that I see a lighter dark monster and an effect monster.
Gonna go ahead and discard another copy of Branded High Spirits, and will this give Jesse access to his very own Mirror Jade?
Oh, we're just going to go ahead and go for the Mirror Jade here.
I mean, I think Jesse's just trying to go for game here. He's going to just ignore the end phase effect of Mirror Jade altogether, right? Because I believe it'll still trigger in the graveyard, but that's not going to matter where Jesse's going.
Not with the field I see.
What's one way to beat an Extended Art Mirror Jade? Another Extended Art Mirror Jade.
Game respects game.
Caliber effect. Targeting the...
Does it target?
Yeah, it does. Secretariat.
So we will go ahead and target the Secretarion. You do get another monster in defense mode. But 2 monsters were sent to the graveyard at the same time. So here comes Dracotail or Thalia, and out of the graveyard will be banished later, but that may not matter if we're not getting to another turn.
This is a bunch of damage from Jesse. Could be more than enough here. I know I was talking big game about this being a resource war, but no, Jesse's just going to go over the top of everything here and try to end it here, I think.
Sure is 6 monsters on the field, and both those monsters notoriously have 0 defense on Lucas Sacco's side of the field. The Blazing Cartesia will hit the graveyard.
Attack these.
Contact Fusion for Albalanatus on top of it. That's 1 less defender.
There we
Guiding
go.
Club attacks.
Hold on. On the attack devotion,
We've got more.
Mirror Jade. Attempt to hit Rinbrum.
So
White Dragon.
just trying to put as much defense as possible out there.
From the Mirror Jade?
Let's see, so far no damage has been dealt yet. We've got 3, 6 at least.
It's an exciting match. Don't get ahead of yourself.
1,100 damage? 11,000 damage, I should say, total here if we have all 5 of our remaining attacks.
Yeah, it's fine.
4 of them are up to also 1,100, I think. No, sorry, 1,100 after one of them gets blocked by this defense mode Fallen of the White Dragon.
Well, remember, it's not just Fallen of the White Dragon. Albaz has a little friend that he made long ago.
This card's negated.
And the Secretarion Dragon was negated by the effect of Luber the Jester of Despia, so don't panic, because here's a spellcaster, and she gets to activate her effect too.
And I know it's been a few years since we really read this part of the effect for Dogmatika Ecclesia, but it cannot be destroyed by monsters that were summoned from the extra deck. But that Dracotail Pan has more than enough attack points to deal with it, I believe.
Attack.
So what a match we have here as Lucas holds on for his dear life points.
Oh, we also have the effect of Mirror J too. I totally forgot about that. Just to
Yeah,
banish
that's
it.
true, that's true.
Attack.
Yeah, we got
And that's it. Jesse Cotton takes the first game. Good luck to both duelists. They are good to go. Show of respect here. This could be the last duel of the night, or we could be going to a game 3. Let's find out how Lucas begins this duel.
No response.
We're going to be starting off with Branded High Spirits, one of the most powerful cards in the deck. Some would say even more powerful than Branded Fusion, as we reveal that Mercury here, and we send the same type Winged Beast in the Rinrum to the grave and get a free search here. So much value being generated, especially when you add the Fallen and the White Dragon.
So getting that Fall of the White Dragon, obviously we know how explosive it can be, even during your opponent's turn. But we're going to go ahead and activate Fall of the White Dragon here. The card we're sending to the graveyard from the extra deck is, got a lot of choices, but I think he's lining up an Albion the Branded Dragon. That seems to be the juiciest target.
I mean, it definitely is. It represents more than enough interaction you need to continue this game, but it's going to be the Titaniclad, actually. Both very similar. Getting access to more important monsters like, of course, the Quem is just an absolute all-star in the pure Branded deck. Even in the not pure Branded deck, as just showcased in Game 1.
Certainly has a lot of gas left in the tank, but speaking of gas in the tank, we're going to get Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous, and I wonder if we're going to go right to the synchro that we did last time of Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon.
We definitely saw Lucas prioritize that in Game 1, and it definitely paid some dividends in generating value for him as well as generating interaction by getting the free tag out. And I think he's going to go for it again, because why wouldn't you? Going first, it just feels like so powerful. Before you lock yourself, just get access to as much value as you could ever want.
Synchro Summon, activate the effect of Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon, and now we're going to go ahead and banish it as its effect resolves. Let's see who we take out of the deck this time. Could be the same game plan, just hope that maybe, you know, the game plan works. It was just Jesse's hand that was the problem. Notice I don't think we had as many super polymerizations in the hand this time as we cross-check. I do see a Forbidden Crown, though, which could make all the difference.
Yeah, that could be a fun card to interact here, because you can basically deny Jesse some material without the need of actually getting something off the board.
Yeah.
All right, and there we see the Aliber, the Jesper of Despia here, going to hopefully get us access to Branded Fusion, the only powerful Branded spell we have yet to activate this turn. But is Jesse ready for it? Remember, we are going for a Game 2 situation, and famously, a deck like Branded that doesn't commonly play a lot of interaction in Game 1 could totally play a lot of interaction in Game 2 and 3, depending on whether they're going second or first.
So a lot of choices. Looks like we're eyeballing a follow-up copy of the Fallen the Virtuous. We do have Ecclesia in the graveyard here, so that makes a lot of difference. This is not just the ability to destroy another card. You could also get something out of the graveyard with that other effect, because you are running Ecclesia. This is not just Fallen the Virtuous in a random deck. It's in a branded deck.
And I think I still agree with Lucas agreeing with the previous game version of himself. It's better to say Branded Fusion when I'm going for game, because it demands so many responses from my opponent that if they can't offer, allows me to push forward. That's what we saw Jesse do, and that's what Lucas wants to be able to do.
At a first-time YCS champion here with Stanley, let's see if Lucas can join his ranks as we send the dragon that devours the dogma to the graveyard.
I mean, like I said, I saw Lucas very easily go +6 on their first game. Something tells me something similar is about to happen as well.
Setting 2 cards, that is a lot of faith in the Forbidden Crown, but it is a very powerful card when used at the right time.
Yeah, nothing good.
So time for some end phase effects. Let's go.
I mean, if one thing Lucas has showed us in the games that we've gotten to watch him play, it's he knows when the right time to use his effects are. He might just not have enough of them to stop what his opponent is trying to do, i.e. in the case of Game 1 with Jesse.
So close he can taste it, but he still has to win 2 of these games if he's able to hold Jesse off. So let's see what we grab out of the deck. It looks like we're
eyeing up the branded sword there, it looks like.
That helped a lot in the game against Dominic Couch. Let's see if it pays off this time.
Going to use the Albion here to get another copy of Fallen the Virtuous established.
It's going to be in the hand, so we are going to play that. Going to target the Granguinal and then send away the Albion the Branded Dragon to destroy his own monster there. All in the end phase.
Sure. I know it feels like we're going minus there, but with the way this deck works, we definitely are not.
Certainly, sometimes you have to invest to get a return on that investment. That's exactly what Lucas is doing.
Pardon?
Albion effect.
Oh, yeah.
And so we get the Albion effect here. We get to set an additional card, only made possible by the fact that we sent that Albion the Branded Dragon to the graveyard. And this Branded Retribution counter traps are pretty good considering their spell speed 3.
Yeah, this is a very similar setup we had to the first game for Lucas, but given now that he has a better understanding of how Jesse wants to play out this turn going second, he might choose to change the timing of some of these interactions, maybe saving something like Branded Retribution for those powerful fusion spells that the Branded Dracotail deck is known for activating. Especially since now we have the Forbidden Crown set that maybe Jesse does have no idea about that can deal with any pesky monster effects.
Well, it looks like we're done for now as we cut the deck. And it looks like it is Jesse's turn. Let's see if this is as explosive as a turn last duel, because last duel was technically only 2 turns.
I mean, just watching push after push after push from Jesse just goes to show how powerful this deck is. And let's see if you can do it again, team. You know, I'm thinking back to one of the first YCS I ever commentated was YCS Sacramento, won by Jesse Dean Cotton himself. And I remember him saying, yeah, I'm just playing a deck that I like because I didn't have time to test. That feels very similar to today. He is playing a tried and true method that he's been dominating with and gave it a nice branded rebrand to help soup it up given the FNL list. And it's just a sight to see.
It certainly is. Well, now we are seeing Fallen and the White Dragon, but we've got to send one of those sacred cards to the graveyard. It's going to be Albion, the Branded Dragon, hitting the graveyard. So resource loops later. But before we do anything here, I mean, technically you could activate that Branded Retribution if you so choose. I believe there's enough fusion monsters in the graveyard. Lucas, think about the response carefully.
Yeah, this weekend has been like the story of information. You have the Cool Tune deck that gets perfect information, and you have the Branded deck or the Sky Striker deck that forces out information based on how your opponent is choosing to use their interaction, or sometimes not choosing. What are they allowing to let me do, and what are they not allowing me to let me do? That gives me so much knowledge. And there's that Forbidden Crown that we knew about, but maybe Jesse did not. Stopping the Fallen, the White Dragon's effect on summon here to get the Ecclesia. That's pretty huge.
It certainly is, but a Duels this season as Jesse perhaps knows that not every card is going to resolve, so we'll get to see what the other cards in his hand are soon. But yeah, that's going to stay on the field and could be really dangerous considering that it can't be used for a lot of different things, right? It can't be used for a fusion material, so we don't have to worry about like a Fallen of Albaz fusing with Fallen of Albaz. What a world. But at the same time, it could be used for a super polymerization later if we get to a next turn.
Ooh, we're eyeing up the normal summon of Alibur, the Jesper of Despia here. This represents a lot of threats that Lucas needs to respect if he has a way to do so.
So many cards can start just from Alibur.
Remember, the big punish we had in game 1 was he activated Retribution and got met with the Branded Fusion. Hard drawn from Jesse.
Was Jesse lucky enough to do it twice? Still has 4 cards in hand. But it looks like we're going to go ahead and let that resolve.
I mean, there's a world here where Jesse just chooses not to get Branded Fusion here and maybe just chooses to get a different spell card like Branded High Spirits, which is just as dangerous sometimes.
I think I saw an interesting side deck choice there. I believe that was an Illusion Gate that was at the very bottom of the deck. So maybe they did enter their side decks, but they had very quick game plans.
Maze of Muertos coming in clutch once again, both in Genesis format and in Advanced, I suppose.
Incredible card, but will it be enough? Getting a little bit of a think here, but it looks like we're going to pass turn player priority, activating Fall on the Virtuous.
Sending Ecclesia.
Okay, Dark Dragon, the Ecclesia is being sent there.
Target the Quem.
Gonna force out the Quemir before it can generate even more value once extra deck monsters are sent here.
Lucas takes a look at his graveyard. Is he going to respond here? Don't want the walls to close in on you at your first YCS finals. He's done such a great job just responding to each and every interaction. Even when he lost the last duel, every decision he made was right from his perspective and from our perspective too.
I mean, just the number of game actions happening between these two games, it feels like it's been a lifetime between these players of dueling and countering each other and trying their best, but it's really just been 4 turns. Not even, we're currently in the 4th turn of this entire match. And it's just amazing to me how many of these decisions have happened, / how many of them have mattered for deciding the victor.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but sometimes you make all the right decisions and it still doesn't matter. But Jesse taking a look at the graveyard just to kind of take inventory here, right? You got the Grand Guidon there, the Albion, it's a Blazing Cartesia. Also looks like the Fallen of the White Dragon. And the Mercurier from earlier.
I mean, you can't help but think, from Jesse's point of view, like every decision you make could be the difference between you getting your 9th YCS win or getting your 80 millionth YCS second place.
Either or, I imagine the internet is going to go insane for whoever wins this. What a treat to be able to witness this live. Again, if you got your friends watching at home and you don't see them in the chat, you know what to do. Send them the link because, oh my goodness, this event.
What does this make?
Jesse asking, what does this make? Interesting.
What is he trying to go for here that matters? What is he trying to do to stop me from whatever my next play is?
Because we activated Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon as Chainlink 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's just trying to figure out, where are you going? Is it worth responding to? A lot of possibilities. Super polymerization.
Super poly here is going to be super huge because it can potentially answer the Cartesia and the Ecclesia on Lucas's board, which represents a lot of value for him.
It looks like we're going to go for a Grand Guidon. Possibly. There's a lot of choices, though, and you don't have to choose until resolution. So it is going to be Grand Guidon. Chills are Blazing Cartesia and Ecclesia the Dark Dragon.
I mean, we're just trying to answer all of Lucas's material, right? Because in his mind, he's like, the only way to make anything right now is Cartesia if you're Jesse. And if you just turn him off of a Cartesia, great.
It's important to note that Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon does not banish itself for cost. That is part of the effect. So you do have to... Well, if you clear it off the field, it never banishes itself. But now we're going to go infuse... Appear to be Blazing Cartesia and Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous for a rival Grand Guidon of the Dust Dragon. Oh no, a Despia Coritus?
We're going to go ahead and negate the effects of cards on the board and make it a little harder for Jesse to go for games. I believe it also makes monsters go to 0 attack, correct?
If they're not level 8 fusion monsters, which this deck has no problem producing.
Famously has no problem producing.
You know, we haven't seen much of Gulamel. I wonder if that's the fact that it's a level 7 fusion monster and so many of these card effects locking you into either fusions or, in the case of Fallen the White Dragon, level 8 fusions. So less fluff in the extra deck and more focus.
It could just be an interesting room as well because the branded engine does demand a lot of extra deck spaces and the Dracotail engine, not really. All you kind of need is Arthalion and you can have a good time.
Fascinating gameplay, but... Looks like we're going to take a look here at what's next. Despia Coritus also has an effect when it leaves the field, and I believe there's an Aluber in the graveyard as well, so this duel is far from over. So Gaiden the Virtuous being revived by the Fallen the Virtuous there.
That's right. That's what's cool about this deck is it unlocks the secret second line of text of Fallen of the Virtuous, which is a reborn-like effect. Dex X Sky Striker kind of can't get away with that.
I mean, you can run Nick Lazy if you want to. Nobody would blame you.
Oh yeah, my not properly summoned Ecclesia, the Dark Dragon. Let me just go ahead and put that on the field. I'm sure there'd be no problems with that one.
Yeah, the main monster zone's pretty tight, the Sky Strikers, but feels pretty good in this match.
And I'm sure Jesse's not in love with this Quem coming back because it does represent a lot more cards for Lucas. But I'm not sure how many Jesse needs to necessarily care about because the only last card on Lucas's side of the field, from what I can tell, is going to be the Blinded Retribution as well as the Rinbrum in the graveyard to maybe get access to a Fallen of Albaz. But not the Fallen of Albaz that actually fuses, just the Fallen of the White Dragon. So we need a way to get Fallen of Albaz in the yard if we can.
I am so glad this match is untimed, as all matches in the top 8 are untimed, but I could watch this all day.
Okay, there we got the Ecclesia, the Incredible being sent here.
She's virtuous, she's incredible, she's all that, but let's see what we end up doing with this stacked graveyard. If we get to an end phase, there's so much resources that Lucas is going to be able to take advantage of as he pushes to fight back against Jesse Cotton and try to get back into a game 3.
Yeah, if you're Lucas, all you're thinking to yourself is one more turn, one more turn. I can do everything Jesse is doing, all these pushes I have in my deck, but I just need my battle phase so I can get the full value out of them and close this game out.
And remember that Fall on the White Dragon at the very top there isn't really going to do much, but we're going to go ahead and return that card back to the deck by shuffling away the Ecclesia of the Dark Dragon and the Branded. So Albion the Branded Dragon also going back to the extra deck there.
I mean, that gets rid of the Branded Retribution. Everyone at home's got to be asking themselves, what are those last 2 cards in Jesse's hand? If any of them are accesses to a fusion summon, this could be it.
I love how close he's kept them to his chest, because even I haven't seen them all. So it'll be nice to see what the surprises are.
If there's one thing both these players have shown me throughout this event, it's the power of super polymerization and just dismantling your opponent's board and advancing your own game plan, especially in fusion-based decks. And oh my gosh, it's Branded Fusion! We draw it again! We fight through everything, we get the Branded Retribution off the board, and we can resolve a Branded Fusion.
Jesse notorious for holding some of the best cards in the game until as late as possible. He did it at the Ultimate Duelist series, and now he's doing it here. So we are using Branded Fusion to fuse.
Oh my goodness, folks. That is unbelievable. Is the card even at 1? Let me double check the FNL list. I gotta know.
The materials are Dracotail, Frixel, and it's in here somewhere. Fallen of the White Dragon, a.k.a. Fallen of Albaz.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's just a sight to see. I said this. Didn't I say this? I was like, oh, I think we're going to use as many cards as possible to bait Lucas into not responding, and we're going to save the most impactful things for later. I cannot think of a more impactful card to save than Branded Fusion.
Are you casting this duel, or are you scripting this duel? My goodness.
I'm flabbergasted. That's what I am. I'll tell you what.
All right, let's see what happens next here. I'll be on the Branded Dragon. But it looks like we're going to use the effect of Gaiden Quem. It ain't over yet.
It's going to be really important here. Lucas needs to plan everything out perfectly, and even then, Jesse just has access to so much more advantage. He can go Lupelion if he wants to. He can go into he can go to Mirror Jade if he wants to. He can go to anything he needs to properly respond to Lucas here. But we are going to see the Mercurier here try to get put back on play. Interesting to see.
Even though Lucas did not win the first duel, if you learned anything from it, do not underestimate Lucas Sacco. I don't think anybody would at this point. Lucas has shown a bright duelist, worthy of sitting up on this stage in the YCS finals against one of the most celebrated champions of all time.
I mean, if it takes the second to last card in your hand going second, Branded Fusion, to beat Lucas Sacco after fighting through everything he did, believe me when I say this, you had to pull out all the stops.
That is some aura for sure, but we're going to get the Ketu Dracotail here.
As well as resolving the Albion and the Branded Dragon's effect here to fuse. We've got access to a lot of potential here.
I need that there.
We're going to go ahead and banish out the Magnamut and the Grand Ganil. It's going to be pretty big here, I think.
What kind of future we got next? It's going to be Secretarion.
That represents even more monsters that Jesse needs to continue fusion summoning, as well as more avenues. I believe we still have not used the Quartus's effect yet, correct, to negate?
That's correct, and it can activate its effect because I believe it's a Fiend.
It sure is. It's a Despia. I can literally feel my heartbeat through my neck.
Oh, I know. I'm just captivated by this. It's such incredible gameplay.
I can hear the roar of the crowd as the game is going on, and just the mumbling of just, I cannot believe what's happening in front of us. This is one of the most impressive bouts I've ever seen. The amount of cards, the amount of additions, the amount of effects. Oh, it's a sight to see.
Feel the clatter of 1,000 keyboards describing this match in a million different ways. It's so wild.
And in many, many words, they're all trying to say the same thing. Peak.
Peak. Some peak dueling. Well, you were representing the fusion dimension earlier, and I gotta say, fusions are all right, but it looks like we're about to fuse again as we activate a Ketu Dracotail. Jesse considering it as he holds it in his hand, grimaces at the card. What can you do for me?
I mean, what's a better card to play right now than Ketu? That's the thing I'm thinking of. Like, oh, if he's debating playing this, what's the other card in his hand? What could be better than this right now?
All right, so we're gonna add
Urgula, fuse these two.
our Urgula. The materials are 2 dragon monsters, actually. Yeah, it's going to be Chaos Star Source Dragon.
2-1 targeting.
Only used 1 light or dark, so we're only going to be destroying, and then we're going to chain Urgula, so Mercurier is going to be lost, and then we'll go ahead and set the Rahu Dracotail from the deck. Of course, not destroying a spell trap. There wasn't one to destroy at the time. Unless Lucas would say, hey, do you want to get rid of your own card? No, we don't.
Yep, and here we have the Urgula to get back the Frixel to our hand to unlock our Rahu Dracotail to actually be activatable. If we didn't already have another Dracotail name in hand, of course.
This is on bottom. I already cut.
You're
good. I already cut.
It'll go on top, Urgula's at the bottom, and Frixel to the hand. I see another spell there. What else could be lurking?
Branded Fusion, one of the most amazing cards of all time. It causes a shockwave every time you play it.
Absolutely does, and we just set Rahu Dracotail, so I think we've got more fusions in our future. But Despia and Caritas still able to reduce the attack of the Aluber, the Gesture of Despia that's there in attack mode.
I don't Tomb Grave.
You don't Tomb Grave?
No, I don't have Spellcaster.
So you have to have a dragon and a spellcaster to activate that, so unfortunately you cannot activate that card until you get a spellcaster grave. But that might be easy with Rahu Dracotail.
I can think of one way to do it, yeah.
So there's your spellcaster. So the materials for this fusion are Dracotail, Frixel, and...
Ooh, I think he's eyeing up Dracotail Molulu. That's one of the other cards limited to 1 for the Dracotail archetype, and it's one of the best to ever do it because that can answer the Quantrix.
Despia and Caritas sitting there staring him down, but that may not be an issue.
I said Quantrix, didn't I? Caritas, forgive me.
You're fine, you're fine. I'd be tongue-tied too with a duel like this, but we're actually going to be sending away Dracotail Pan.
Similar answer, similar answer. Arthalion as well. Many answers to that card.
Chainlink 1 Arthalion?
No, Chainlink 2 Pan.
We're going on my graveyard.
Yeah, mine's gone anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, trying to deny access, Lucas, to his very own Granganil. Very heads-up play there from Jesse.
He's certainly aware that the graveyard is almost another set of resources all its own.
Right.
So it looks like we're going to let that resolve. Let's go ahead and chain link resolution backwards. So time to set another card here. And I think it's time for defensive traps. Prioritizing that Dracotail Sting. Very good in this matchup.
All right, so Pan getting rid of Quem here. Jesse basically saying he's not worried about the Despia. Because he knows he has plenty of level 8 anyways to play around it probably. I mean, that's basically all Lucas has left, right, besides the Rinvram Engrave, correct?
That's right, and the Fallen of the White Dragon, again, won't be able to be used for the attack, and the Despia and Caritas could reduce it, so this is almost going to be fully on the back of fusion monsters, but that may not be that hard now that we have the right cards. One back to the deck, one to the field. Fallen of Albaz might win this duel by himself as we possibly discard a card.
It was Branded Opening was the last card in our hand, but we're not using it for its effect. We're using it for Fallen of Albaz's.
Change to Despia and Caritas. Fusion materials are Mirror Jade. There's not a card left on the field. Graveyard still has plenty of options, but I'm at the edge of my seat too.
Currently 0 cards in hand and 0 cards in field for Lucas Sacco, but does he have a way to keep playing?
There's that Aluber the Jester of Despia.
Thank you, sorry.
But we haven't even used the effect of the Mirror Jade. An extended art card might win this duel. History in the making. Lucas, again, trying to hold out 8,000 life points, but that's a lot of monsters.
He's looking at every angle, trying to find any corner he can turn to maybe put the game in his favor, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
Jesse picking up his own Aluber just to read it. It would certainly slow things down if you targeted the Mirror Jade, negated its effect. That way it wouldn't be able to banish a card. That might be the play, just so that your opponent has to stay honest and destroy the result of battle. But can he do it just off of the one card
I'll hit this.
that he'll draw on the cards from his graveyard?
Chilling 2 will be Despia, which is thinking if there's a third trigger.
So Despian Caritas also going to use its effect.
No, that's
And
it.
we are
Chilling
just going to use that. So Caritas resolves first. Time to special summon. Just trying to put as many monsters in defense as possible. Again, don't underestimate Lucas Sacco, because he's putting Fall on the White Dragon in defense mode, and you can use its effects since you haven't used it this turn. Special summon another defensive monster.
And this could be Ecclesia here, and I believe Ecclesia cannot be checked by Aluber. I believe Aluber has, oh wait, no, 1,800 attack points, doesn't he? So we can't attack over it, unfortunately.
Secretarion is negated again. But remember, that Fall on the White Dragon at the top of Jesse's, that
Cannot
was
attack.
hit by Forbidden Crown. It can't do nothing. And on the bottom, that is going to be a 0 attack. Aluber the Jester of Despia.
Because of the
Caritas,
Despian.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's not a level 8 fusion. It might be the material for one.
But we do have the Mirror Jade to deal with any Ecclesia that gets summoned in defense mode, unfortunately.
I'll summon Dogmatika Despia. That.
So Dogmatika Ecclesia. Lucas locked in
I
still.
don't know if I have a target. Check my play.
So he's just going to check his graveyard before he starts reaching into his deck.
I don't have a target, so just summon.
Doesn't have a target, so he's just going to summon it defense mode. Does not activate effects. Let's go ahead and shuffle the deck here. Still plenty of monsters, and Dogmatika Ecclesia is a highly defensive card. Can't be destroyed by monsters from the extra deck.
Exactly correct. But we have the Mirror Jade to deal with that, and then we have
And you
1
random
or
engrave,
2
right?
attacks to go through. I don't know if we have the damage. Like you said, those 2 useless effect monsters are on the end of Jesse's board.
do that.
Could give Lucas another turn, and as we've seen time and time again, another turn for the branded deck means a full turn cycle of advantage.
Game 3s are very exciting, but at this level, this high caliber of play, they're going to have to take me out of here with a stretcher.
And you saw from Jesse's point of view in both of these games here, going second, this deck is so good at
Is that
dismantling
0 and
boards.
the rest are at 4?
Lucas has a lot of those
0,
similar types of
18.
effects
Yeah, I
and
can't attack.
already a full established
Right,
yard.
I can't attack.
That's correct. That's what Crown says.
Yeah, cool.
Crown has so many different effects, but preventing the opponent from attacking is one of them.
That
Falling to the White
doesn't
Dragon is just going to be caught looking. Do we have anything else here?
Don't know if we have any other ways to fuse. We have no cards in Jesse's hand. The only set card is the Dracotail Sting.
That's your grave.
Go ahead, man.
Take a look at the graveyard.
I think Jesse's trying to think to himself, okay, I don't think I can go for game here. I need to figure out my Sting targets as soon as possible. Lucas doing everything he possibly can to get another turn cycle so he can start playing the game again and start
This is
forcing
Sting, right?
out Jesse's cards and maybe force us to a game 3.
So good at the defense. Not necessarily where you want to be when you're playing Dogmatika Despia branded, but has so many
central
plays to
phase.
keep monsters on the field that Jesse may not be able to close it out this turn. Here's the battle phase. Star Source Dragon attacks Fallen. And then goodbye, Aluber.
Yeah, we can go for Mirror Jade here, but we're only going to be dealing, I believe, 6,000 damage, which is not going to be enough to close it out here.
Deciding whether or not we even want to use it this turn, because technically you could just hold off. Looks like that's what Jesse's going to choose to do.
Battle phase.
Right, is it better to go for damage that isn't actually a game-winning blow, or is it better to hang on to a banishment interaction that can stop
End
Lucas from breaking your
phase.
board?
Yeah, I'll go end phase.
So it's the end phase. We're about to do a lot of stuff here.
Whew, for both players, I think.
It's a workout for the duelists. I think it's a workout for the viewers.
Yep, I think we have at least the Albion here to go ahead and set the Fawn of the Virtuous. I believe we have a Branded in High Spirits in Jesse's yard. And I'm not sure what else we could do because all of our monster zones are full. And I don't see a Cartesia actually in the graveyard. So that's going to be it for Jesse, I think. All of his advantages definitely face up and in play.
But I'd say probably one of the strongest things he has is definitely going to be that Secretarion Dragon.
Yeah, that stops special summon dragon monsters' effects, correct?
And spellcasters.
Targeting this copy of
But it was negated by the Alibur, right?
Right now.
Right now, but only for this turn.
I would need to check Aluber just to be safe.
I'm not quite sure.
Think you might be right that it's permanent.
Are they special summon from the extra deck, or no? Only special summon in general?
Let's take a look real fast.
For-
Monsters' effects are negated until the end of the turn, so Secretarion will be back in charge.
That would be a pretty tough card for Lucas to fight through, I think.
Could draw the super polymerization right here.
I'll
Lucas,
come to
it's anyone's game.
We could just out-eliminate this, forgive me, I forgot.
That is true, that is true.
There we go, yeah.
And I do see Dragon.
Oh, that was
Oh,
stressful.
that's a worm technically over there.
Alright, I will drop turn.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas begins his turn, folks. Let's see what he's got. Let him hear your excitement.
He drew it. He drew it. He drew it.
The point where the super poly was being played was that it was way too significant of a sell. Have you received one already in this turn? No, this is your first one?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a warning for right now.
Okay.
Just, I understand we're untimed.
Yeah.
Just, we gotta keep a decent pace.
Sure.
So,
Priority?
it's just a warning.
No, you're priority. Yeah.
So just a
I drew it,
warning,
man.
not a big deal. But speaking of super polymerization, there it is.
These fusion cards that these players are drawing are unbelievably powerful.
Lucas Sacco is not here to give it up. Playing an incredible game here. The materials are falling up. All the White Dragon. Mirror Jade and Secretarion. You know what that means.
The dragon that devours the dogma is hitting the extra monster zone, and this is going to be super awesome.
Thinking triggers.
Just a heads up, folks, that was a slow play minor warning to Jesse for the delay in the super poly activation. Just a heads up, folks, this is untimed, but there is a pace of play. Everyone remember that there is a pace of play.
We don't want to be here all night, although I definitely could. But that super polymerization, my goodness. Just incredible.
So you don't respond to something from
No,
Chainlink 4?
yeah. Sorry, did you have... So Chainlink 1's this, Chainlink 2 is your...
No, we're good.
Chainlink 1 is just going to be the Dragon that devours the dogma.
Yeah.
And it resolves. So let's recycle 2 cards.
And let's remember, all Jesse has is a Fall on the Virtuous and a Dracotail Sting as interaction. And as we saw from Jesse's going second, the branded deck can play through a little bit more than that, I'd like to think.
So we're going to take a look at the graveyard here. Are there any things we want to recycle? You almost don't want to put them back in the opponent's deck, but sometimes you do got to get them out of the graveyard.
Huge props for Lucas. I'm sure after that game one, a lot of players would be discouraged to choose to go first again after seeing how well Jesse's deck is at going second and going for game. But he's like, no,
in the meantime.
I now know
Yeah,
all Jesse can do
gonna
is
take
try to
second.
win the
I need to
game
look
on
at my-
his turn. If I can stop him from winning the game and I get back to my turn, the amount of resources I will have accumulated will surpass anything Jesse can do. Let's see if Lucas can turn that into a win on this turn and force that game 3.
This is just an incredible duel. Yes, it's only turn 3 of game 2, but so many pieces of interaction. They are fighting for their lives here.
Shuffle back.
And just doing a
the
great
dragon
job
that
as we shuffle away some cards.
He's trying to remove some resources here from Jesse by shuffling them back into the deck. We gotta be careful though. Some of those cards could be one-ups that Jesse's more than happy to summon or use again.
I think getting rid of the Dracotail Pan in the graveyard might be the smart move here because you want to make sure.
Nothing fell off. I apologize, Judge.
Yeah, so nothing fell off. We're good. Random deck's a random deck. Actually managed to place it back in the same order too. But we're going to recycle a Dragon that devours the Dogma and
here now.
the Rinbrum.
That's our own cards there. We love being able to reuse powerful effects over and over again in this house.
Now, good
Attempt
heads up
to
though, that
leave
Dracotail Pan is still there, so if something happens to Arthalion,
standby phase,
Pan
the draw
may
phase, standby
give
phase.
more plays.
Activate Sting.
So the targets are going to be 1 spell and trap and 1 monster. They're going to be banished.
Right.
Yep, gonna go get rid of that branded sword here. Basically, any cards that have effects in the grave. Usually a good idea to get rid of, as Jesse here. Gonna get rid of the Dark Dragon as well as the branded sword.
no
I
response to that.
concur, those are pretty good ones.
So their response will also cycle a Dracotail card back into the deck and then draw 1 card. So Ketu Dracotail back online here.
Yep,
It's gonna
I
go
know,
on the bottom.
those cards are at 1 of, but this deck makes it not feel that way.
Draws a card. Oh, we didn't even get to see it. The suspense is
Standby.
intolerable, but we're making it through this duel one action at a time.
I mean, we know Jesse loves keeping his bangers close to his chest, so it'll be super awesome to see if that one does have any impact here, or potentially on the next turn, because, I mean, you saw how much Lucas has been gaining advantage here throughout these first few turns. Jesse has the exact same thing. If it passes back to Jesse, I'm terrified to think of what could happen, honestly.
Well, Lucas is still branded in high spirits.
Okay, Brandon, high spirits.
No response.
So the card is going to be Blazing Cartesia, the Virtuous. There's Grangwinal, the Dust Dragon. Let's see what card we get out of the deck and add to the hand. We add
Albion the Shrouded Dragon.
Albion the Shrouded Dragon, actually.
Sure.
Really trying to extend plays here.
I mean, that's going to be pretty good here for establishing some value.
Facing it for cost.
Just getting more and more of our resources into the graveyard, our second hand, as you will.
There's so many different ways you could take this deck, right? When you try to peer into the crystal ball and think this is what he should do or that is what he should do, there's no one path for this deck.
And as we've been seeing all week with our branded players, both of these duelists included, the top decks are insane. What is it? Looks like a branded opening to me. Not the most impressive right now, but if we can get another card in hand, that could be pretty big.
Not impossible. But right now, not seeing a whole lot. Gonna turn to attack mode.
Contact.
And we are going to send away. The materials, of course, are Fallen of Obaz and all your opponent's dragons. Albulinatus is here.
I mean, how much damage do we have right now? I think we have 33 plus 25 plus 15. That's going to be 71?
200 more, because I think that's going to be 3,500 up there.
Rates.
2,000 plus 5, right? That's 58 plus 15.
Does it go
gonna be
back to 18 or is it
7,300. But remember, you still have a Looper, the Jester of Despia.
Is it at 0 or is it back to the 1800 because of the Despian?
Believe it should be back to 1,800.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
until the end of this turn, they were just talking about that.
Okay.
Yep, so it'll be a total 5,500 life
I will
points
declare.
taken
Yeah,
taken
700.
as damage for Jesse, so it'll be down to 25 potentially if all these attacks go through.
We saw how much Lucas could do with a
attack
single
first, attack
turn,
Yep.
but he has left Jesse with life points, so now Jesse's going to get a chance to come back here.
35.
Yep, and we
Rates.
have one giant
23.
unaffected Boyo on Lucas's side in the form of the dragon that devours the Dogma, which could be more than enough to give
Still
Lucas yet
values.
another turn of value. We're going to go ahead and use the branded retribution here. We're going to recycle Fallen of the Virtuous, just maximize our level of interaction. We sure are.
Cycling through the graveyard. Almost looks like cycling through the deck at this point. This duel has gone for quite a while. Again, both of these are 40-card lists. But you wouldn't know it based on how many card effects they can get off. This is incredible.
Both these players are just showcasing the absolute raw power that the branded strategy and the branded Dracotail strategy has in the Blazing Dominion format. Everyone watching at home, if you're not taking notes, please do. This has been an absolute masterclass from both players.
Main phase.
Quite the sight to see.
I know exactly what I'm going to do after this duel finishes. I'm going to watch this duel again.
So here we got end phase. We can do quite a few things here as Jesse. I believe we have our own copy of Set Fallen and Virtuous here, which can get us some value, can get us Albion, it can get us access to maybe our own copy of Branded Retribution if we play it. Not quite sure if Jesse has the room for that in his deck because he has to fit the two engines together, but if he could, that could be pretty huge here.
Take a look at effect activations in the graveyard. And also look at the extra deck here. Jesse in a difficult position, but that's okay, at least on his side of the field, because of course, he got the first game. We're going to activate the Fallen the Virtuous.
I don't have this Ecclesian Grave, so I have to.
So there's no Ecclesian Graveyard, so we're just going to be sending to destroy. And the card we send away is going to be the Rinbrum.
Wants to get access to Fallen
all
Valbas here to do his own
targets.
fusioning, I think.
But unaffected's unaffected.
Targeting Albulinatus.
Target. It's only one on us. Yeah.
Okay, so we're targeting Albulinatus, confirmed. Tempo of this duel just ebbs and flows. I think somebody's
This is
got
still
it,
main
and
phase,
they
right?
don't.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So we will destroy the
That's fine,
Albulinatus.
just destroyed. Still main phase.
Yeah.
Time to leave main phase again.
So we're going to go to the end phase, or at least try to.
We'll go.
Everyone knows the end phase is Branded's favorite phase of the game. We're going to get back Cartesia, get back Ecclesia.
Still in the end phase.
Sort of the epilogue for the turn.
Attempt to activate.
Interesting.
Hey,
Targeting
he does have
more
Ecclesia
Mirror
in
Jade.
his graveyard or field. So targeting the Mirror Jade, special something into the field.
That is so huge. That's why he chose not to shuffle it back with the Dragon that devours the Dogma, because he realized, oh, wait a second. Not only is this my card in my extra deck, It's my card in Jesse's graveyard.
Well, you also don't want to give your opponent any additional resources, but because he did not, now he has the strongest resource in the Branded arsenal, and pairs that up with Branded Fusion for a later turn.
I mean, just adding that card to your hand during the end phase is the most scary thing I think any Branded player can do. Be like, you've got one turn. Good luck. Last time Jesse was facing off a board this big from Lucas, he had 6 cards in his hand during the draw phase.
He does not this time.
He's maybe going to have 3 here, if you consider some of the cards he has in his graveyard.
Yeah. Is you grab real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
This is definitely going to be a lot. I am super excited to see what Jesse's going to do here, but Lucas is putting on an absolute show here and saying, I am not going to give up. I'm going to pull out every stop I can, and it is paying dividends.
And just in case you didn't catch that, the Branded opening was banished because of the Mirror Jade's lingering effect on Jesse Cotton's side of the field, trying to destroy the monsters that Lucas Sacco had. So, good looking out. Still had the Branded opening in order to protect those cards, but on the same note, we're going to go ahead and special summon that incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous from Jesse's deck.
Oh my gosh. You know, part of me, regrets whenever we can't show off awesome players that are doing well because the overall storyline of the event is demanding us to show off different rounds during the Swiss. But if waiting until now to showcase Jesse's deck and showcase how he's using it for the finals so we can get this good of a match, worth it.
Worth it every time.
Worth it every time.
Thank you, Egyptian God cards, for bestowing
Are you
us
actually
with this
kidding,
amazing
or?
duel.
Yeah, we're good.
Main phase 1.
We made phase 1 here. Jesse going to go ahead. It appears we're going to synchro summon here. Cheers are following the White Dragon. And Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous, a tuner monster all her own.
Line effects and grave.
She learned that from her fellow friends over on the Sword Soul side of things.
I'm so sorry, yeah.
2 monsters sure were sent to the graveyard, so Arthalion will be coming back to the board. That is a bigger body that he has access to, and some more material in case we have any fusion shenanigans.
All right, let's theorycraft here. How do you get over a 3,500 attack monster? And I'm just guessing off the top of my head. No wrong answers.
I believe we still have access to our own Avalanatus, which is not an effect. It is a summoning condition.
But I don't think that's a dragon over there, despite its name.
Oh, you're right.
Vanish.
It is indeed a beast.
Certainly he's got the out somewhere. Not conceding, not going to the next game. Jesse hanging in there as well. Playing from behind despite winning the first duel.
I mean, at this rate, he's probably just going to summon his own and try to crash into it with battle.
I think that might be the strat. I'll have to take a look at Jesse's extra deck the next time he picks it up.
It's a pretty tough situation to be in here if you're Jesse. And just a second ago, I was praising him for drawing Branded Fusion and just showcasing it to Lucas as his 6th card per turn, but it wasn't enough to close out the game like it was in Game 1.
Jesse got a lot of options ahead of him, but known fact, you do have to keep up the pace of play. So I'm curious what the next turn of cards will be. It's going to be Triple
Thrust.
Tactics Thrust. Alternate art too, Branded all the way here.
That's a pretty good one. This could be a powerful side deck conclusion we're seeing from Jesse. Reminder, this is Game 2, so we did have some extra information. And Jesse knew he needed to play into boards pretty well this turn, but let's see how well he chose to go for it. We're going to go ahead and get Triple Tactics Talent.
It's not enough, I don't think.
Draw 2 cards, take back control of his own Mirror Jade. Lots of things could be done here.
Activate to draw 2.
Draw 2 it is.
I mean, there are some pretty live draws in Jesse's deck. It is pretty compressed right now.
The most important shuffle and cut of Lucas Sacco's live. Let's see what cards we drew. Looks like Dracotail Flame and one other spell, but we concede. Lucas gets the second game.
Wow.
Game 3 begins.
All right, Jesse, let's see what you can pull up, my friend. And Lucas, let's see what you can fight through.
All right. Take a look at the opening hand. Certainly an important way to begin things.
I saw him with Charming Foolos there
Draw phase,
in Lucas's hand, which is pretty huge.
But I think we're going to hold off until we respond to a card effect that would indicate that we're going to summon from the deck or extra deck.
That's right. This is not Art Mage. You can't just go for the non-finito and play around it that way. Normal summon Mululu. One of Jesse's favorite plays in this deck.
Activate the effect, but here comes the Charming Foolos.
No response.
No response. So we're going to get some value here off as Lucas. I mean, we saw how dangerous Jesse's branded deck was with 6 cards. I wonder how dangerous Lucas's would be with 7 if he keeps playing into this.
There's the first draw. Fusion material is Dracotail, Fimina, and Malula.
2-3.
Sure.
Going to go ahead and get double set here, and then we're going to be targeting, adding back the Fimina, it sounds like.
But there is a way to play low to the ground with this deck, effectively getting enough set cards, right? You don't necessarily have to give your opponent that many draws, maybe, but at the same time, if you're not putting any defenses, Jesse Cotton may not live to see the 3rd turn.
I mean, we've seen branded decks play around Fua so well by just summoning all their main deck monsters to the field and then using something during the opponent's turn. And the cool thing about the branded Dracotail deck is you can do that because you have branded cards, but you can also do it even further because you have Dracotail Fimina, which can fusion summon anything as long as you discard it during either player's turn. So Jesse can totally deny draws from Lucas if he wants to, but the question is, does he need to? Not quite sure.
Frixel.
Could technically pick this up again next main phase. But we're going to add Frixel to the hand. Moments away, Jesse taking a moment to think.
I think he's arguing to himself, like, do I play into the Fua or do I not?
Set 1. Set 2.
Set 1 and 2. Looks like he was lucky enough to draw those trap cards and main phase.
Time in hand.
Yeah.
Search from case when they have it. Okay.
That's one.
Draw.
It's a pretty modest board here. Not really seeing any of the branded cards from Jesse, but will these set cards be enough? Are they potentially set cards from his side deck? Are they cards like Dracotail Flame because we searched Sting, etc., etc.?
Lucas's YCS to win in this turn. This is an opportunity. Activate the effect of Illumina the Jester of Despia. No further chains, so we go into the deck for a branded card.
Any quick effects on resolution?
Gonna get all in the Virtuous here. Are we gonna try to hit the Sting before it has a chance to activate? Or are we gonna try to hit blind one of the 2?
I think I have brand opening.
Ooh, branded opening here.
We gotta discard something. Well, on resolution. And now that resolution has come, so the card going to the graveyard is Tri-Brigade Mercurier.
Man, Lucas loves drawing that almost as much as Jesse loves drawing branded Fusion.
It's wild stuff here, but taking a look at the deck, what are we gonna get next?
Special summon getting on the Virtuous. I can summon.
Ooh, Quem here is going to be pretty good here to get some extra resources into the graveyard immediately.
I'm splitting the difference being a Despia monster there, so she's out on the field. Slowly but surely. Whatever is going through these 2 duelists' head right now, I'm sure we will hear about it later. For now, we just have to silently watch as they go ahead and get ready to just put out as much card advantage as they possibly can.
I mean, I'm just so stunned by the level of play that both these players have been exhibiting throughout this match, and it's just so exciting.
This is beautiful. This is historic. Just the level of play, it's great. You know, and we do get to see great duelists, and they're not the only 2 great duelists out there, but man, do they put on a show for us tonight.
Anything here?
No.
So sending Branded Retribution to the graveyard, we're going to go and use Dogmatika, which could be Magnamut. Steel Magnamut, going to go ahead and target.
Finishing our own Mercurier here is so much value. It's unbelievable.
Got the Dogmatikas on the brain, but the Bestials are here to banish those light and darks, and that's exactly what Mercurier wants to happen.
This kind of is going to try to force out Jesse's Sting, I think, but it could be a bait. It could be a thing that Lucas wants him to do. But denying the body, while not denying the Mercurier effect, might not be worth it to Jesse. He might choose to wait for something that's more impactful because obviously the only way Jesse wins this game is if this turn ends and he can start his next turn. And so saving Sting to deny the follow-up from Lucas might be more important than denying just one search off of Mercurier. So it's a really tough tightrope to rock here, I think, if you're Jesse.
There's ever a use case for Wabaku. Just need to get to another turn, but that may not happen for Jesse Cotton. Thumbs his cards for a moment and thinks to himself. He did kind of point where I believe the Dracotail Sting was set, so he might be thinking about activating, but instead we'll do Dracotail Fimina.
Trying to bait out and see what other forms of responses Lucas wants to go for here. Going to go ahead and fuse off the Fruxel and the Arthalion that are in play. And we're going to go for the Secretarion Dragon. This will prevent the Magnamut from being able to activate its effect on summon, so Jesse is stymieing some of the overall advantage that Lucas will gain throughout the course of the turn. And we're going to get the effect of Fruxel, of course, to add some more cards to our set field to help us on the follow-up.
Trying to push back in any way he can. Lucas certainly showed how much defense you could make, but we're going to go ahead and set the Rahu Dracotail here, planning to fuse next turn.
I mean, this does put a big wrench into Lucas's plan here, because basically before he's allowed to do anything else, he has to find an answer for this Secretary on Dragon.
Attempt to add. I want to go White Dragon.
So we're going to grab Fall on the White Dragon. But it's going to be a little difficult here. Of course, Secretarion is a dragon itself, so while we won't get the special summoning effect of the Ecclesia off of the Fall on the White Dragon, sure is Fallen of Elbaz. Always treated as that card name, which means you could use it as material for Albalinatus.
No response.
It's on the field.
Okay.
Summon's good. Lucas has worked so hard to get here. But unfortunately in a duel, the only thing that pays off is cards, card knowledge, and the right decisions.
No response.
Okay, I'll contact you.
So here comes the Albalinatus.
That is a good answer for it, but it does deny us still the value of the White Dragon to get access to an Ecclesia monster. But now Jesse's wide open, and while cards like Dracotail, Sting, and Flame are good, they sure do not prevent battle damage, last time I checked. So, depending on what that last unknown card is from Jesse.
Sting targeting the...
Now we'll get to the Dracotail Sting now. That's going to get rid of the targeted Fall on the White Dragon, which was targeted by Quem. The other card will be...
I want to force it now. I'll try the Retribution.
It's going to try the Retribution to force it now. I mean, you just said it out loud.
I mean, all you do is get back a branded opening that can't do anything right now and can maybe do something later on.
Yes,
It will make it maybe a bit harder for Jesse to go for game if it ever does come back to his turn. But I feel like Jesse's fighting now, kind of similarly to how Lucas was in Game 2.
What an incredible matchup. The crowd was rearing and ready to go to congratulate Jesse Cotton on a 9th YCS trophy. And Lucas Sacco fought it all the way back to a Game 3. Here we are. Got ourselves a match.
Lucas said 6-card brand fusion. Is that all you got? Let's go to Game 3.
Well, haven't resolved these card effects yet. Still an opportunity to change something here. What'll it be?
Chain.
Gonna go ahead and banish.
Yeah.
Targeting the branded opening.
Fall on the Virtuous.
Fall on the Virtuous. And reviving
Ecclesia, right?
Albaz back to the
I'm so
field.
sorry.
Oh,
You're
there's
right.
no Ecclesia.
Oh, we cannot activate that effect, unfortunately, because we do not currently have an Ecclesia.
Procedural error penalty. Okay, there's
So just a procedural penalty, that's fine.
Yes, sir.
You have to choose one of the effects, but the chosen effect is illegal, so you don't get forced into the other card.
That is unfortunate. He really needed to have that extra access to monsters here, I think, if he wanted to try to push for more material. And he did kind of give some more information to Jesse as well.
Knows what to look out for, especially when you're sitting on a Dracotail Flame. That's huge.
Dracotail Sting.
Sting.
Okay.
we need to
you
cut.
didn't have a chance to cut your deck because I had.
Oh, because I set off... Yeah. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and shuffle and then cut.
Good looking out there, judges, making sure the game state is as maintained as possible. Same to both of our players. When you have a game this tense, it's nice to have some support.
You don't earn those red stripes without being wise, knowledgeable, and observant. Most important. So Ketsu to the bottom. And get to draw a card.
All right, what else does Lucas have in the tank? He currently does not have the damage to get there, and he currently has to fight through 2 unknown cards. The Sting has now been used. There's no other form of interaction that Jesse is presenting.
I'll go for it.
But the numbers are getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to declare the effect of Ecclesia here. This will lock us out of the extra deck for the rest of the turn, I believe.
That may be okay if you're reviving a card from the graveyard. But not a whole lot of great choices left, though, now. All I'm seeing is Moltremi Fualos and Albion the Branded Dragon in Lucas Sacco's graveyard.
And one of those cannot be brought back because it was not properly summoned.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Jesse's graveyard, though. Is the missing piece there.
Yep.
I'm so want to know what these set cards
Sorry.
are. And oh, it's Dracotail the Horn! Gonna go ahead and answer that Albalinatus and get Jesse even more recycling of his resources, which he desperately needs.
And it does protect, too, so that's going to go back. No attack. We're going to put the Dracotail Sting at the bottom of the deck and draw 1 new card.
I've been saying all weekend long that drawing cards are the best effects in Yu-Gi-Oh! This weekend, and this deck not only has the powerful fusion spells, but also the powerful draw cards. To boot, it's awesome.
So we're going to...
there's the Dracotail Flame! Normally, you don't like hard drawing your Dracotail trap cards, but when you go first, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I was just doing life, so...
So recycling. Now we get to draw another card. Jesse working his way back up. Plenty of monsters in hand.
So 22.
Lots of combos to be made from that, and it does look like Jesse is going to get to that next turn.
After drawing 3 cards per turn and having a set Ragu Dracotail, I mean, talk about follow-up.
Jesse, what's your life at?
22, right? Should be 25, 43, 58 damage, so 22.
So 2,200 life points left. Faster you can hear beep, 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 beep. All the way down, but not all the way.
I'm sorry, man.
Looks like we're in main phase 2 now. So the crowd talks amongst themselves about what they would do in this situation. Let's see what Lucas does, as he has 3 spells to play.
Poor.
We know at least one of them is going to be a branded opening. We know, sadly, because of the misplay that Lucas did earlier, that the other one was a copy of the Fallen Virtuous. And the last one here is Nadir Servant. Going to go ahead and get even more cards put into our yard here to give us access to more end phase value once we get there and get us an additional draw in the process. But what are we going to end up getting here?
Now let's see what we send first. Plenty of options. Gotta send 1 card. Maybe thinking about the Mirror Jade, maybe thinking about the Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon. Don't have any tuner monsters on the field that I can see.
Give me a second. I'll go ahead and send...
Oh, never mind. There's Gwen. But we will go ahead and send Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon. So let's see what we add from the deck to the hand with the Nadir Servant.
I'll add a copy of...
I mean, unfortunately, Lucas is in a situation that he's all too familiar with in this match, which is survive. I need to prevent Jesse from winning the game on his turn. I just need to make it back to my turn, and I think I'll have the resources necessary to push through the damage to win the game. There we have the answer of the set spell trap. Rahu, that denies at least one potential push from Jesse, which is going to be a big deal for Lucas.
Well, take a look at the typing on Lucas's field, because we've seen that this has been a battle of Alba Lanatus. And there's not a lot of dragons on the field to just absorb here. So in this case, got 2 spellcasters, 1 dragon. So it may not be as bad as usual. So play does pass over to Jesse. He draws for turn.
And we got 5 cards in our hand now, thanks to all those Dracotail trap cards, and a pretty decent-sized yard. Mostly, the Arthalion is going to be the biggest thing to keep in mind, because that could just be an extra 3,000 body, which we could use to close out the game. Whew! Man, oh man.
Oh, I know. I know.
I'm not even dueling, and my heart is palpitating.
Is this what it feels like to be like in the anime where you're sitting on the side like, come on, Yugi, you can do it. No, wow, Kaiba's really got it.
I sure hope not, because if this is how I handle the stakes of a YCS, I'm not sure I handle the stakes of a Shadow game.
Well, nobody's getting sent to the Shadow Realm here, but we haven't left the draw phase just yet.
I mean, there's a lot of things it could be. It could be like Brandon High Spirits. It could be Super Poly. It could be just so many things.
So it looks like we are going to proceed to the main phase as we use the effect of Fallen the White Dragon, sending Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon to the graveyard for its effect to summon itself.
I mean, as starts go, that's one of the best ones because it just guarantees value.
So Chain Link 1, not bad, Lucas muses to himself. So it looks like there's no response here. So it's time to grab Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous.
Also pretty good. The big thing that Lucas does not have access to here, which is really unfortunate for him, is Blazing Cartesia. If he just had access to Blazing Cartesia, the Virtuous, there would have been so much fusion summoning he could do.
Well, we'll save that for another episode of this incredible anime that we're watching in real life, but we are going to go ahead and recycle, at least attempt to recycle the Secretarion with Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon's effect to the graveyard.
We saw this be really useful for Jesse in Game 1 to get the reuse of its effect to bring back monsters to the field. But having it be also a way to answer this Quem here before it ever fully activates is going to be pretty huge.
So that's what we're going to go ahead and shuffle away. That's fine. So it resolves. Everybody goes back to their respective decks, to the extra deck, 1 to the deck.
And now we could go for a Synchro Summon here because we did put the Ecclesia of the Dark Dragon back into the deck.
Well, there is a face-down card.
Yep.
Going to go ahead and use the branded opening here. It's important to remember that currently Lucas is locked out of his extra deck because of both the Nadir Servant and the Dogmatika Ecclesia.
Is it until the end of the next turn for Nadir Servant?
Believe so.
Okay.
Those Dogmatikas do not like the extra deck.
At least once they hit the field. Before they hit the field, they love them. Be like, oh, are those extra deck monsters out there? No, we can't stand for this.
Might share a few words or a meal around a campfire, but I don't think that's the vibe of this duel. Right. Thinking about what to do with Incredible Ecclesi the Virtuous. We do have the Ecclesi and the Dark Dragon back in the extra deck.
It's so difficult playing into a known Fallen and the Virtuous because you're kind of like forced to stymie yourself because you're like, I either bait it out now with what little resources I have already established, or I try my best to play around it, but that should make me play scared and thus deny myself a possible line to go for a game.
Yes, he's going to try. So 2 monsters went to the graveyard at the same time. Welcome back, Dracotail Arthalion. Special summon by his own effect. He'll be banished when he leaves the field, but we're going to activate the effect here of Ecclesi and the Dark Dragon. Chaining, Fallen the Virtuous on Lucas's side. We're going to target and attempt to destroy, I would imagine, that Ecclesi before it's banished.
Is it grave again?
There's a lot of good things here. I would say the most important things to look out for are going to be those Rinbrum, the Branded Sword, and that's about it. But the fact that we have the Fallen of the White Dragon here to get its full value just represents a lot of bodies. And as we know, Lucas loves spamming bodies during Jesse's turn to survive.
Branded opening important, but not necessarily. But oh, here comes Fallen of Abaz, original edition.
On the normal summon, not the greatest draw that he probably could have seen there off of those Dracotail draws, but it's the one he has.
Discarding.
Jesse trying to choose between a discard. I saw Quem and what I think is Branded High Spirits in his hand. Maybe a Fallen of the White Dragon as well. So you got to figure out that discard. This is expensive, despite just being 1 card. We discard our spell card.
I mean, it's got to be Albion, right? You want to be able to fusion summon as many monsters as possible this turn.
Push, maybe, but we're going to go ahead and fuse.
Do we have any Dracotail names in the graveyard that I don't know about? I think we do, actually. I think we have access to Malulu still, huh? Yeah.
The Frixel's there as well for the beginning of the duel.
This could be a pretty huge Secretarion that I don't think Lucas has anything to say about.
What fusion materials, by the way? We've seen both Albaz's and both Ecclesias, and now they join each other in the graveyard as fusion materials for this coveted Dragon and Spellcaster monster.
I mean, this could be a pretty huge Secretarion here, especially if my hunch is correct that Jesse has 2 more monsters in hand.
Frixel.
I mean, imagine summoning an Arthalion for 3 full material here.
Albaz back to the deck. And it looks like we're going to get Frixel on the field. It could be used to bring Malulu back.
Oh my gosh, this is just so good because then you can add back another material to your hand in the form of Frixel. And then we have the Malulu. We can negate the cards that are on field. We can Arthalion to bounce back the Fallen of the White Dragon in Lucas's graveyard and force him to use the Rinbrum now.
Do you know what's so different about this particular field in this duel? That Aluber, the Jester of Despia, doesn't have any fusion monsters that are going to call it back to the field. It's so different because the Aluber has been used so many times this duel. But this time, Lucas can't put any fusion monsters out, so these are the only monsters he really has available left.
All right, it looks like we're going for a double from the hand fusion summon plus the Malulu, it looks like. And this will get us access to not 1, but 2 more Dracotail spell traps, which both Rahu and Ketu are in the deck. Those could be the pushes that Jesse needs to win the game. He is doing everything he can to set it up, but can Lucas do everything he can to stop it, much like he did in Game 2?
There is the final Dracotail Arthalion, but it's making an appearance at exactly the right time. 2 cards from the hand there. Able to negate a monster effect as well.
Yeah, so I bounced 2.
Don't want to mess with that Bestial Magnum. Don't want to bounce it back to the hand. It would just show back up.
I mean, it's really important to note, too, that because of the way Jesse can order his chain links here, he can force out Lucas to use the Rinbrum to summon out the Fallen of the White Dragon, but still use Malulu to negate the Fallen of the White Dragon, because it'll resolve on a new chain, but the Malulu will resolve first, making it impossible to activate its effect. And so Lucas is priced into not doing that, but he might need the body anyway to survive the attacks.
Let's see what we end up doing here. It's setting time.
Oh, it's also worth knowing that we have Secretarion, so Fallen of the White Dragon doesn't work anyway. Ignore me, but I was just really excited about Malulu being used.
Hey, it's okay, fam.
I love Malulu so much.
All right, so we're going to set Catch You Dracotail and Dracotail Sting and grab the Dracotail Frixel back to the hand. Get rid of Quem for the moment. Activating the Catch You Dracotail, get to add and fuse.
I mean, the more this deck fusion summons, the more powerful it feels every time I see it.
Really does. We don't have a Dracotail Urgla in the graveyard, but we're still going to take the Phymena nonetheless. And it is Sting in the grave. So the fusion materials are Fallen of Albaz and a light monster, so that brings out Albion, the Branded Dragon.
That sure is one way to keep fusing, I think. And here comes Mirror Jade, I think.
Yep, a monster from the extra deck. And Fallen of Valdez.
I mean,
Battle phase.
Battle phase it is.
Attack for 1200.
1200 with the Dracotail Arthalion.
Attack for 500.
500, 3000 over 25.
Attack for 25.
Tails oldest time, 2500.
Activate Rinbrim.
Gonna try to activate Rinbrim here.
Yeah.
Chain, Branded Sword.
Yeah.
Mercurier.
Gonna go ahead and grab the Mercurier as well.
Effects.
Can't use the effect of the Fall of the White Dragon.
Choosing to effect?
Huh?
Are you choosing to
Redeclare. Effect.
So redeclaring the attack here with the Albion, the Branded Dragon, but also using the effect of Mirror Jade, sending away the Titaniclad to banish it. 2500 still gets through. There's 3000. That's the game!